Oh.
This was an incredible event.
And I highly recommend Roofr.
Well, that was a great intro there, man. Welcome everybody to this edition of Speaker Spotlight for Rise, a Roofr Roadshow. I am the host of Rise, TJ McCormack from Roofr.com. I'm here today with Diego Dante, the CEO of RoofCon, and everything else that he's done. It's been amazing. I'm so happy to have you here today, Diego.
What's up, man? I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man. I saw you on live earlier. I feel like a lot of our time is spent on live broadcast or just being in front of people. You got RoofCon coming up. You got Rise coming up here in the next few weeks. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on in your life right now.
Not much. Just got RoofCon coming up. That's my big thing that we've got just less than a month away now. So RoofCon is... I might be a little biased, but in my opinion, the best conference in the industry.
Yeah.
And, we've got big trade show, big conference, great speakers coming out, a lot of great people from the industry coming to speak. John Cenac, I love John. He's speaking. We got just a lot of great speakers out in the industry that are coming to speak at RoofCon, and I'm excited about it. But I'm also excited about Rise.
Yeah,
that's
no doubt, man.
Before we went live, it's kind of my homeland of sorts because I grew up in Hilton Head, which is 30 minutes outside of Savannah. So I'm excited to get to go do this in Savannah.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm really looking forward to RoofCon. Roofr is one of the big sponsors this year of RoofCon as well. But I know how much stress that you've got to be under. I've never put on a large scale event like that, but dang, man, congratulations on getting it to where it is. And if you're watching at home or at work right now, and you possibly would like to have some tickets, we're going to be giving away some RoofCon tickets today. All you have to do is type the word Rise into the comments, and then Diego and I will pick some people to win those tickets here in just a little bit.
Two general admission tickets is what we're doing. So if you type in the comments the word Rise, we'll give away 2 general admission tickets. So that's just shy of $1,800 value right there. It's
wow.
So big giveaway. I'm excited to do this.
You told me earlier that I'm not going to say the exact number, but I've heard the number, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot of people at RoofCon this year. I'm really excited for that for you guys. I want to maybe stray off the questions here a little bit about, the prepared questions that we had for today. Wanted to talk about, Hunter. He's not been feeling well, and also JC the past few days. So prayers out to those guys. Have you had an opportunity to talk with them?
Yeah, Hunter is feeling a little better. Yeah. He is still, for anyone that doesn't know, Hunter went out on a mission trip to Africa and came back with malaria. So fun stuff going on. JP was on that too, and he was also came back sick, but actually got invited to it. And I was like, man, I can't be out 2 weeks, right? 6 weeks before the show, can't be gone for a week or two. So I decided not to go, but man, I think he's feeling a little bit better. He went like a whole week without messaging me on, that's how I knew that he wasn't feeling too well. Cause typically he's like, every single day. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. And went like a whole week without reaching out. But now, he's back to asking me questions and reaching out. So that's kind of how I know he's feeling a little bit better.
Yeah, I got a great perspective from JP last night. I was watching his live. I think that I don't know if they're still doing the Fearless 44, but I was watching JP's live, and he was saying, that he could really feel bad for himself or the fact that he's in the hospital, but he was really able to do God's work while he was there in the hospital. And it was just amazing as a testament to hear him talk about, the stuff that he's been able to accomplish, even though he's been in ICU and in the hospital. But even getting malaria while he was on a mission trip is just incredible too. I can't imagine being that sick, is what they've been saying. But let's we don't have to keep it on that topic the whole day. I hope they feel better. But we do a lot of work in this industry, and I see you as a dad, just like me, taking, I think it's Jackson and your daughter, all
Rosie.
Rosie. Yeah, sorry about that. But what's something that you could like to do outside of roofing?
Well, I guess first of all, that would really mean that I really enjoy roofing in general. But no, man, I enjoy being a dad, and that's that's all I do outside of work. If I'm not at work, I'm just trying to be a husband and a dad. So my son, his grandparents just gave him a PlayStation a couple days ago, so he's been like over the moon with that. So just being a dad, man, playing with them. And Jackson's been getting into Ninja Warrior the last year or so that's been super fun. And Rosie's been into dance, and but yeah, man, just besides that, like, that's really it. Like, I'm kind of a boring guy. I don't do much of anything. I don't go anywhere. I just go to work and go home. So my people around my house, I before I started working for Roofr, they would know me because I was always outside. I was always out there with the kids, or I was out talking with the neighbors. And now the neighbors are like, we don't even know when you're home. Because I'm always on the road. But I definitely appreciate that about you being such a great dad to those kids. But also, let me just give you a piece of advice, and other people at home. If you've got younger kids, it's great for that video game, but dang it, take it away sometimes. Because my kids, I fight them to go outside and play sometimes, and they're almost 10, each of them. And I just want them to go outside and play and be kids. So I'm just at this point now where they've just gotten it, so now it's just trying to figure out what's the best way to control it and make sure it doesn't control them. So oh man, we're already getting questions.
We're already getting questions. What tips do you guys offer someone who has minimal experience in the roofing industry that will be transitioning into that field? I'll let you go first, man.
Well, I was in that boat a few years ago. Sure. I came into the roofing industry in 2020. When I say minimal experience, I think minimal experience will be more experience than I had coming into the industry. I had never been on top of a roof when I got into the roofing industry. And the big thing that I realized is that some of the things that you need to be really good at is realizing, okay, like, what are the things I'm going to be doing? If you're going into sales, then make sure you're really good at sales, right? Yeah. Or maybe, I don't know what you're going to be doing in the roofing industry. I'm going to assume you're going into doing sales, okay? So, and maybe you can specify. But so let's say with sales, get really good at sales, and just know that, like, that's the thing I'm going to be good at. That's the thing I'm going to do. And don't try to focus on doing a million different things, right? If you're going to go work for a company, vet the company. Make sure that they pay their people. Make sure that they, that they're a good company, has high morals, all that stuff. But I think besides anything else, it's like, hey, if you believe in the product, you believe in the people, you believe in the company, you can sell just about anything. Study, get good at what you're doing, become knowledgeable. It's hard to beat a salesperson who's knowledgeable about the thing that they're selling.
Yeah.
So just try to soak it all in and try to learn as much as possible. Here we go. We got some. So I was offered an estimator position, and I have little to no experience. I do plan on rising through opportunities. Okay, perfect. So
Nice.
so learn everything you need to know about the trade, and really I think that's my biggest thing. It's just become knowledgeable and become really good at the one thing that you're doing. If you're going to be an estimator, and I think in anything, try to be the best in the industry at the thing that you're doing. And I know TJ, I'm sure that this is something you could agree with too, of hey, if I'm going to go, be let's say an influencer, or you're going to be working on, for me, putting on a conference, right? For me, it's hey, I want to be the best person at running a conference in the roofing industry. That's it.
Yep.
I'm just trying to do the best. And I think when you put yourself at that, I don't accept being second at anything, then you can really rise in that position and what you're doing.
Yeah, when I first got into the industry, I didn't have any knowledge of how the industry worked either. And I went straight into being in a role of recruiting roofers to do roofing jobs. So I had to go out and I had to learn everything that I could. And even back then, I was damn near homeless. So I didn't have a lot of money to pay people to teach me how to be a roofing contractor. And so I got by learning most of what I learned through YouTube videos and listening to other great people out there. I could go on and on with a list of names of people that are really great to learn from. But there are plenty of things online that you can get for free these days. And then when you get that amount of money that you need, maybe you can get yourself a coach or go to some specific trainings that cost a little bit more money. But in order to get good at your trade, just keep learning every day and keep growing. So,
yeah. I remember trying to watch as many videos as possible, watching Becca Switzer's videos. I found hers, I feel like, pretty early online. And then just other people in the industry that I just found their free YouTube videos online, and just going through those. There's a wealth of knowledge out there if you just search for it. Lots of podcast shows like this, different events and different just a lot of stuff out there that you can consume for free to be able to get yourself up to date as much as possible and be able to learn.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, let me ask you this. Who do you look up to and why?
In the industry or just in general?
In general, it doesn't necessarily have to be industry specific.
I'll give you a few and kind of in industry, out of industry. In the industry, there's, I think I would have, I don't just say this because I work for him, but I do look up to Hunter Ballou. He's technically my boss, but also I think that he's a good guy and he's done a lot for me as a person. There's so many people outside of the industry.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would say my parents for sure, just in the sense of they my dad specifically taught me how to work from a young age. And I feel like that's something I've carried, just having a high work ethic. And there's people that I follow online that I feel like, even though I don't know them, I look up to them. People I love following Patrick Bet David. I don't know if you follow him, but
for sure.
I like him because he's an immigrant like my family, and he's been able to succeed and be able to do, he's done a lot of things in in the United States, but I think that's a few people there that I look up to. But then besides that, I look up to all the people that just show up day in and day out and just do their work without recognition.
Yeah,
Like
no
there's
doubt.
so many things that we just see happen, like RoofCon specifically. Like there's so many people working in the background that you'll never see.
Yep.
And like running a roofing company, the roofers that actually show up every day and like do a good quality job and never complain, and the people that do the hard work that no one else wants to do, that never do it for the recognition. Like that's people that I seriously look up to.
I was actually thinking about this same thing just a little while ago. I do a lot in this industry too, working, like 7 o'clock in the morning till midnight daily, but I get a chance to talk to a lot of people in that time every day. And there are so many people that you just don't know about that are actually doing the damn thing and grinding, and they're running multi-million-dollar companies, and you would never even know that they existed unless you got an opportunity to talk with them. I call them ghosts, right? Like you just don't even know that they're there, and they're building these empires, and not even talking about it, which is cool. But there are also some really great people that come from those agencies, and they don't have the problems like a lot of the other, the storm chasers that are real loud online, or the chucks in a truck, if you will. But no, I really appreciate those people as well. Let's talk about that marketing piece of this real quick. You and I were talking about this year's been great for RoofCon. Even when you were running the roofing company, what were you finding that's been working great in 2023 prior to 2020, before you came into this industry? I'd like to hear your side of that.
What's worked for marketing, for like lead generation for roofing contractors mainly?
Yeah, RoofCon, and then also your roofing in general.
Okay, so a lot of different places here, or a lot of different thoughts here. Let me start with like running a roofing company. I was running a roofing company last year. It was a short stint with a roofing company, but I like basically came into a company that was completely dead. Like they hadn't done anything with it. I just teamed up with, I was going to go start my own roofing company. This guy already had the license. I said, basically, we were like, hey, this is perfect. Like, I want to do my thing. You've got the license. Let's just team up and I'll make it happen. Right.
Yeah.
So I went and we started basically from the ground up, and tried right from the beginning. Like, we got a super expensive marketing agency for SEO and Google ads and all this stuff. And actually it was SEO, and like they were doing a little bit of Facebook ads and some of this other stuff. And I dropped $30,000 in 4 months and I got nothing out of it. Now, that's not to say that like SEO doesn't work or anything like that. I just didn't have enough time to make it work. Right. And I was just burning through all the money that we had. And so I put in a ton of money into Google local service ads, and actually it wasn't even that much money. Like I was putting in like $2,000 a month into Google local service ads, and we were getting, once we did that, we started getting we were getting upwards of 20 to 25 calls a day from Google local service ads. Enough to make it to where now we could start working on some of this other stuff, right? Again, into the SEO and all this stuff. So Google local service ads, I'm a big believer in. Just referrals in general, that's huge. I know
word of mouth.
Yeah, I was doing Matt Danskin's course, trying to do that with insurance realtors. Those are really the big two is and then realtors or referrals from realtors. That was a huge one too. So I'd go up to them, I'd take them to lunch, and I'd say, hey, I want to make sure that we're creating win-win situations for you. And what I'm going to do is, anytime you're getting ready to sell a house, let me go through, run an inspection. If there's damage, we'll go ahead and, we'll put a new roof on it. And if we do, then you win, because now you can sell the house for higher. So we're doing this before you even list the house. And then we go through and, Yeah, we sell it for higher. The homeowner wins. You win. The new person that's moving in wins because they get a house with a brand new roof. And obviously I win because they get a project out of it.
Yeah.
And when you explain it like that, these realtors are like, oh, most of the time what we do is we just we call up a roofer if it comes up in the final inspection and they're like up against the deadline trying to make stuff happen. I was like, no, we're going to eliminate all that. Right. Yeah. So those three things for me were huge for generating leads and frankly, like pretty low marketing budget to be able to do all those things. And again, not to say that SEO and some of these other things won't work, but I just wasn't at the point where I could justify it after I dropped enough money into it.
Yeah. You can go out there and start a business these days with just an LLC, but a lot of times you don't have that cash flow until you've sold, 10, 15, 20 jobs to be able to do a lot of those really expensive things like get a great marketer or pay an agency to help you out. And you know what? That's still okay. But once you get that money, you should be starting to invest in that stuff.
Yeah. So that's for roofing contractors. That's what I would say. Like if you're just starting out and I will say like, once we got to that point where we were getting like 20, 25 appointments, we didn't knock any doors. We were just working off of the calls that were coming in. And I was just like, all right, I got enough calls for one guy. If I got enough calls for two guys, I'll go hire a second person. I built it backwards instead of, a lot of people just hire a bunch of door knockers and then 90% of them will drop off. And I was like, nope, let's do it the other way around. And my main guy that was there, because again, it was a small company. I brought in this one guy and I know this year he sold a crap ton, even with me being gone, because we just set him up the right way. And I was like, I'd rather have one or two guys that are just crushing it than, 20 guys that are doing okay.
Right. No doubt. That's exciting to hear. The lead generation portion is really big in this industry on who to trust, help you. But there are some really great people. If you guys want to find out more, please ask us. I won't beat a dead horse, if you will, because we talk about marketing quite a bit, but ask us. There are plenty of people in this industry that will give you great names of people that won't take your money and run away.
Yeah, I got zero marketing to sell you. So if you want to ask me questions on marketing, by all means, I'll tell you all the good, the bad, and the ugly, and who to talk to and who to stay away from. So
right, man. I know some great people, and I've also heard some horror stories.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're telling your team to stay motivated. We're a month out from RoofCon. How are you getting them to dial for dollars to get more roofers to be a part of your event this year?
I'm just trying to make sure everyone is on my team. And when I say that, I mean like even the people that aren't on my team, I'm making sure they're on my team.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously like my team is working really hard. They're doing a really good job. And then it's like, okay, how do I motivate the people that aren't on my team to also be on my team? Sure. So people like my title sponsors, how do I get them excited to give out tickets and to get their people there? How do I get, I've got a big Facebook group. How do I get the Facebook group talking about it? How do I get, even people like, I'm even cool with if people want to go online and say mean things about RoofCon, like, I just want the word to get out about what we're doing, right? And so, but for my team, I do daily accountability meetings with my team. So literally every single morning we have a quick meeting that's like basically just hey, what were your goals for the week and how are you tracking towards your goal? Just because it's daily accountability. I don't want to get to the end of the week and then find out that there's a problem we needed to fix earlier.
Sure. Right. Put out that fire when it comes up.
Yeah. So stuff like that. I think that I got, I might be biased. I think I got a great team. And I think, and they're always reaching out to me too. I mean, I've probably gotten three messages today that from my team that were like, hey, how can I take stuff off of your plate? So like having team players like that too, that are just always trying to, like, they're trying to level up. I think that that's huge.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That sounds great. I got to meet, I know Jenna and I know Parker and I know a couple of other people on your team. I got to see them at another event. I think it's really great that you bring them to other events as well. Like I think I saw you in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and at the Western States. There's so many shows out there these days. It's hard to keep up. I feel bad that, everybody always asks me, are you coming to this show? Are you going to that show? And I go every week. There's a new roofing event somewhere in the world. So, but it's great to see you out there doing that. Tell me a little bit about technology and how you think it's helped the industry these past few years. We've got so much great technology coming out to help roofers. What's one thing that you like the best?
Yeah, I think there's good and bad, just like anything else,
Yeah.
right? So the good is definitely like we're able to stay more connected. We're able to learn from one another. I mean, social media is great to be able to connect and have community and all that stuff. And there's a lot of tools that are making it super easy for contractors just to be able to save them time. Stuff like Roofr. I mean, obviously, like, and I would say this even if we weren't talking. Like, I've promoted you guys like crazy because, like, I used to do the DIY measurements.
Sure.
And I would just do that before I showed up to any jobs, right? So we'd get an appointment, and it was like part of the checklist is like we do the DIY measurements before we got there, and I would have just a standard proposal ready to go before we even showed up, right? So stuff like that, I think is huge. There's a lot of other great, systems and CRMs and which I know you guys are rolling out your own now too, and but stuff like Company Cam and just a bunch of different software that makes it super easy. I think that the pitfall can be that sometimes we have issues in our business and we think that technology is going to fix it, when really we need to fix the issues in our organization, and that like the technology will solve your issue if you pinpointed the issue as being the technology. The problem is that, we just think to ourselves, oh, we're disorganized, and so Company Cam is going to help me. No, you're just going to be disorganized with Company Cam,
Right.
and having to pay more money versus like, hey, we fixed an organization issue. We are organized, but we still have photos that are disorganized. Okay, well, now I add in Company Cam, and now that fixed the issue. So just knowing what the actual issue is and using technology to solve the actual issue. And if you have an issue that technology is not going to fix that ahead of time.
Yeah, you have to have those processes in place, or if you're Canadian, processes. But sorry, I got the military flying over my house right now. But definitely keep those processes in mind and making sure that you're doing everything you can before you're adding that technology. But stop living off spreadsheets, people. I know that there are a lot of people out there that are spreadsheet warriors, and you'll be till the day you die. But
guilty.
No doubt. It's great. But I was actually watching something on TikTok last night where it was like a guy that was trying to show people that use spreadsheets how to make it better, and I was like, why are you trying to show them how to make it better? But you know what? It's been great talking to you today. I'm going to take one last question from you. If you guys are watching it at home or at work right now, we said at the top of the show that we were going to give away some RoofCon tickets, 2 tickets to RoofCon. So if you say Rise in the comments, Diego and I will pick a couple people that will win those tickets. But Diego, to close this podcast out, tell me what's one piece of advice or word of wisdom that you could give to people out there. Maybe they're getting ready to start a company, or maybe they're going through their day-to-day.
Just be a good person. I think that's it. Like, I think a lot of people are out just to be like, to earn a buck or to make themselves seem better than other people, or a lot of people just will step on other people to get to where they want to be or whatever. I think it all just kind of gets summarized to just be a good person. I think everything else kind of you can have some personal failures and you can do other things, but I think if you just focus on being a good person, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and also, but taking accountability where it's due, right? So, but be a good person is definitely key to all of this. Well, dude, thank you so much. If you guys are watching at home, Rise, a Roofr Roadshow will be coming to Savannah, Georgia in the next few weeks. So we're looking forward to having everybody out at our event. It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. It goes until about 5:30 in the afternoon. It only costs $25 for you to come out and hang out with us. And we definitely want you there with us. You're going to be hearing from people like Paul Swingle, who installed Tesla's roofs. We're going to hear from Diego from RoofCon. We're going to hear from Brad. Forgive me, his last name is Artigues, as well as some other great people like Elizabeth Calzadilla will be there. I think Benjamin Tiger will be there. So it's going to be a great day to learn something new for your company. So
I love
please,
Ben. If y'all are going to the thing, go listen. Don't come for me. Come watch Ben. Okay?
That dude brings the energy.
He's such a great speaker too.
Yeah.
So I had him on my podcast, and it was one of the best episodes I've filmed.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, again, Savannah, Georgia, that'll be the first stop of our fall tour on October 25th. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. If you guys want tickets to Rise, a Roofr Roadshow, right down in the bottom, you see it right there. I'm trying to point at it. Get your tickets at roofr.com/rise. Diego, if you want to give a shout out for RoofCon tickets, go ahead, man.
Roofcon.com. Get your tickets.
Yeah. Roofcon.com. Yeah. And we look forward to seeing
November
everybody
9th through the 11th in Orlando, Florida.
Nice. It's about a week and a half after the Rise event in Savannah. But I'll look forward to seeing you there at RoofCon. And if you'll hang out for me when we go here to break, I got to close this out. But thank you guys for tuning in. I got to do another live here in just a little bit. Let me just remind everybody who it is. We will be speaking with, let's see here. We'll be speaking with Jim Rubart he'll be speaking in Atlantic City in about 3 hours from now. So I look forward to seeing everybody back in just a little bit.
This was an incredible event.
And I highly recommend Roofr.